Good morning, this is Dave Wallendorf from MakeRes, and today we're going to take a look at the Utilities page within MakeRes. It's primarily a place where you go to configure the MakeRes system itself to more closely adapt it to the way you'd like to have your properties run. There are some maintenance functions also available from the Utilities page, such as backing up and restoring the database, doing the same thing with email templates you use to send out emails to your guests. There are a number of different tabs within there. Database operations, backing up, restoring. Same thing for email templates, backing up, restoring the email templates. The configuration page is where we go to really do some of the core configuration on some of the system elements, who the manager is, whether we want to be able to delete guests, things like that. Property page is where we'll go to set up individual properties, such as a room within a bed and breakfast or a cabin. Property group, these are groupings of properties that are all managed in the same fashion. So you may have a bed and breakfast that's a property group, and then all the rooms within that bed and breakfast are individual properties. That allows us to display the information in a consistent fashion throughout MakeRes. Work definitions are things that are related to our workflow that you saw on the guest page. Controls how the booking workflow works, and there's a number of both canned workflows that we supply and a number of optional workflows that you can customize to do additional things for your specific set of properties. And there'll be a help top. You can take a look at that to make a custom workflow. Sources are where people are coming to us from, so things like TripAdvisor, bedandbreakfast.com, HomeAway, things like that. So important to keep track of that information so we can assess how well various marketing programs are working for us. Occasions are the reasons that people might be coming, so they may be coming for a wedding or an anniversary or a family vacation or a reunion. Again, important to keep that information because there might be some clues there into how to market to people that are doing those things. So maybe marketing to people that are going to have a honeymoon, so a special honeymoon package or things like that might come out of watching the occasions. Specials are keeping track of the specials that you're running with your property, whether it's a midweek special during an off season or a champagne breakfast special, whatever you might choose, and then tracking to see how many people said yes. Part of the reason I came was for that special, so you know what specials have traction with your customers and which specials really don't. Reminders are things that you can set up either tied to a guest or tied to your property, basically to tap you on the shoulder to remind you to take an action, such as getting a second payment for a room or scheduling a window cleaning. And finally, the minimum stay area, that's where you can say during a certain time frame, say like Christmas, I'm going to have different criteria in terms of the number of nights you have to stay during that time frame because it's much more popular, leaf season, holidays, middle of summer, and I want people to commit to more days than I might in February or March. So those are some of the areas, and let's look at a few of the individual ones. We'll look at the config table first. Click on it, and this is the config table. It's got, again, a number of properties, such as the name of the company that owns all the various properties, contact information, email, phone number, things like that. The inquiry reservation switch details whether on the property website you want to accept just inquiries, just reservations, or you want to allow customers to do both. Maintenance mode is when you're doing maintenance on the system. This will probably be handled more by your web guy. Logging, keeping track in a fairly detailed fashion of the actions the system's taking. So if there's a problem, we can go back and investigate what might have caused that. And then there's a number of things that are related to which type of emails you want to send out automatically and how long. So for example, the welcome email, right now with this system, it's set up 5 days before a customer arrives. the system will automatically send out a welcome email to them with instructions on how to get to the property, perhaps check-in information about the general area, and any other information you feel that might assist your customers in terms of coming to your property and starting their stay in a great fashion. One of the other ones I wanted to mention was the extend to stay email. The system monitors guest stay, and a certain number of days before a guest will come, you can take a look, have the system take a look at whether there's openings on either side of the guest stay. And if it detects that there's an opening either before or after the guest stay, it will send out an email automatically to them saying and inviting them to extend their stay either by coming a little bit earlier or staying a little bit longer. It's a great way to hopefully add some days onto your calendar that may not have been booked already. So that's the elements of the config table, and I'll make a point that every one of these tabs have an instructions area that goes into more detail about the various areas, so you can always go there and read more about what all the various areas mean. And of course, you've got a full manual that details things in much more detail also. So let's go to the Properties tab. Here are the properties that we're currently managing for the Riverdance operation. 3 rooms in the bed and breakfast, a vacation rental called Cottage in the Woods. Here we've got a variety of pieces of information: the name of the property group, the name of the property, a 2-digit code that helps us work with the property, who the manager is, their phone number, their email, tax rates, things like that. And if we scroll all the way across, we can see whether we're allowing kids or pets, what the maximum occupancy of that unit is, and what the base rate and base cleaning rates are for those units. So in the normal fashion with MakeRes, if you want to edit a particular area, you will see it's been highlighted to the white, and you simply click on it. And then if we scroll down, you'll see here's the elements of the thing that I wanted to edit. And let's assume that we just wanted to call this person Callie rather than Callie Wellendorf. So I will delete that, and we'll go ahead and update the property. And now we have in that first area, the manager's name is Callie. So very easy to edit, and that's a consistent way we approach updating and adding things. And again, you'll see more of that in the online help through the instructions button and also the manual. I'm not going to do it right now, but once you're done making those changes, then you need to save the information permanently in the database, and you would do that with the Save Properties button up here. Next, I want to go to Sources, and it reminds me, hey, I've made some changes. Is it okay to lose them? And indeed, it is okay to lose them. So I'll go back to Sources, and sources again are where customers are coming from, what marketing programs that they might be taking advantage of. So best marketing program but all is somebody returning. Next best one is referring to new customers. So we need to keep track of those because again helps us assess which marketing programs are being successful, which ones aren't, which ones are worth the money, and quite frankly which ones aren't. So these are all extensible. The MakeRes system comes with a standard set, but you can very easily, using this particular Sources tab, add new sources, and then when you enter a guest information, you can select that particular new source and tag that person as coming from the new source that you would just put in. So again, with these, we can edit them if we want to, but it's best just to add to them, because if you change a source midway, it's going to kind of orphan guests that you've already tagged, say with TripAdvisor. If you decide to reassign TripAdvisor wasn't doing the job for you anymore, it would be better just to leave it alone and add a new source. Occasions and specials we already talked about briefly before. Let's look at reminders. Reminders are basically a way to tap you on the shoulder. So we can see that we've got 3 reminders defined here. Each of them are tagged a particular guest ID or inquiry. So for guest number 283, we're supposed to call them back within a certain time frame. For guest number 282, by looks to be September 23rd, we're supposed to collect a second payment on their bill of $200. And then there's a reminder that we're going to be doing some carpet cleaning down in the treetops area. So we need to schedule that. So again, reminders can be tagged to guests or not tagged to guests. So a way again to just keep all the millions of things that you have to juggle as running a property and have the system help you keep those straight, and then again tap you on the shoulder and remind you of things at the appropriate time. The last area we're going to go into is a minimum stay. Minimum stay is a criteria that you may have except 1 day stays all year round. That's this particular one. It says from January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014. A 1 day stay that commences on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday is okay. And actually with this one it says it should be a 2 day stay starting on Sunday. That's obviously wrong, so I'm going to click on that and come down here, and I'm going to change that 2 day stay to a 1 day stay and update it. So now we've got that back to a 1 day stay. So it's very easy to do. Do the same thing for all of 2015. Was basically copied, so we'll update that min stay. So now a 1 night stay across all of 2014 and all of 2015 are okay for the bed and breakfast group. So we can have individual property groups that have one set of minimum stay criteria and a second property group, in this case vacation rentals, that have another set of minimum stay. So here for the vacation rental property group, again it's an all year is the season. Seasons can be broken up into spring, fall, or any criteria that you want to. You give the start date, you give the end date, and then based on the day of the week you can say what the minimum number of days you want that customer to stay. And this really only has impact when the guest is trying to do a reservation through the property website. If you were running MakeRes yourself, you would be able to disregard the minimum stay criteria if you so chose and put somebody in there for 3 days, particularly say if they were butted up against somebody else, so you weren't creating a hole in your reservation calendar. If a guest tries a 3-day reservation when the minimum stay criteria says 4 days, they will get an error message indicating this is a minimum stay violation, although it won't say it in that terms to them, and they'll be asked to call your property manager, and then the property manager can assess whether that's a reasonable reservation request to put on the calendar. So that's it for the utilities side. Again, much more information are available through the instructions area and also through the manuals. So thanks for listening, and please take a look at the other video help files that are available.